weather, so hopefully some new birds have moved in here, and hoping for Smash Fest. We'll see what happens. So I think I always knew I wanted to live in the mountains. I knew I wanted to be around snow and mountains, and enjoyed going hunting the handful of times I did as a kid, but I don't think I would have guessed that I would have devoted a significant portion of my life to hunting. I don't think there's a path that could have been better for me, because I get to live in the mountains and do everything I wanted to do, and here we are. How about this guy? You want to shoot him? Yeah. Oh, but he's just standing there. I was definitely an outdoor kid. My mom had grown up hunting and thought it was really important, so I took a hunter safety course in Portland, and then my mom took me small game hunting in Central Oregon. First thing I ever shot was a rock chuck. Brought it back to camp, and my mom kind of shook her head, and she's like, all right, you're eating that thing. And I hadn't really thought that through. So after that, a lot more thinking about what was on the other end of the barrel. In middle school, my mom had a friend of hers that she worked with volunteer to take me waterfowling for the first time. And I shot my first duck, which was actually a pintail, so it ended up being pretty cool. I'll never forget that too. I can visually remember when that pintail got up and I hoisted that giant Model 12 to me and just gave it hell, and somehow that bird fell down. Went to college. Moved out to Idaho shortly after. When I moved to Idaho, I moved out with a bunch of my friends from Oregon, a couple of which had grown up duck hunting a little bit. We would rent a house every season wherever we could find one. And after a while, year 4 or 5, we realized we had the same crew every year. Someone came up with the name Phi Beta Quacka.
I believe that was a secret society of Ross and his buddies back in the day, when they spent every waking moment either duck hunting or at a local drinking establishment.
Friday night, we'd come down, watch some high school football, drink like 1,000 beers, wake up really, really early, and go waterfowling.
Good man, Cody. You're my boy. Hey, Rocket.
We bought our first boat, which was a fiberglass death trap called the Morning Wood. We would end up going up with a dozen decoys and started figuring it out. And then I think one of the most important things you learn over time is who you want to spend your time with in the blind and what kind of people you like to duck hunt with. I like to duck hunt with people that take it seriously but don't take it too seriously, so that you're able to laugh when you miss birds and shit. You're giving your friends grief, and it's a very social sport by nature.
That's probably one of the things I like most about waterfowl hunting, actually, is spending time in the blind with people that you like spending time with, and you get to know somebody pretty well.
I think it's a disservice, honestly, to waterfowling when folks try to make it into something it's not. I mean, we're out there, we're sitting still, and we're shooting ducks, and that's what makes it fun. The one room in my house that I kind of get to decorate at will. This is my happy space in here. I'm dusting cocks right now, literally. We got Paco. He's my chocolate lab. He ended up being a really good duck dog, really strong retriever, had a lot of drive. He was pretty crazy. That's where I really kind of cut my teeth on learning how to train dogs. Didn't have a whole lot of money, but I had a whole lot of time at that point, so I learned how to do everything myself, working with my buddy Jason. kind of learned how to steady a dog and teach him to handle and all that sort of stuff. And Paco saw a lot of ducks in his day. That's Judy. That's Addie, one of the filthiest creatures you've ever met in your life. She had a passion for sheep shit. This is actually a Eurasian widgeon, pretty rare, and someone told me they're 1 out of 10,000 widgeon are the Eurasian variety. And that's just a goose. No special reason behind that thing other than I just wanted a big ass honker on my wall.
I think a big reason Ross likes to duck hunt is he loves eating lamp food at gas stations. I think he genuinely does love to duck hunt, but I think without lamp food it would be a little more of a toss-up.
Nicotine, coffee, and pork product. If you don't have those three, you're definitely gonna die out here.
I've known Ross for 20 years, probably, I bet. 15, 20 years. He's actually one of the brightest people that I know, and at the same time, a total hot mess.
Yeah, Ross would lose his head if it wasn't on his shoulders.
The guy has to write his name on literally everything he owns. For example, a boat battery with his initials, just in case somebody picks that up somewhere.
But at the same time, I don't know if there's anyone who is more detailed in the way they make things and the way they execute. He doesn't see boundaries, like he doesn't see a barrier that we can't get past. On any given Friday, you text Ross, he is down in an undisclosed location, ready to duck hunt for the entire weekend, and he's not gonna quit until he knows he's filled limits or at least had what he deems as an epic day on the water, which by his definition could mean really anything.
You get guys like him in a duck blind and you're pretty much laughing the whole time, and when I get the chance I try and get out there and shoot a few ducks with him. That, and he has a boat. That too.
One of the things that I very much look forward to is my 6-year-old daughter, Riley. One of these days she's gonna be coming out with me to the blind. She's got her own duck call that she practices on. There it is. We talk a lot about conservation. It's really important that we be proactive in protecting the wild places that these animals live and that we understand that we have an effect. It just became really apparent to me. It felt like where I belonged. And so I wanted to find a way to stay there and make a career out of it. In the end, it ended up being the best thing I ever did because all of us duck hunted in the office. Everybody waterfowl. That was like the language that everybody speaks. It was always the thing that all of us shared and something that we all spent a lot of time doing together. So for First Lite to finally come out with a dedicated line of waterfowling gear is probably one of the most natural things that I think we've done. And it's also really exciting because I think it's a category that has been hugely neglected. Work with really, really good people. We're very much a family and we view ourselves as very much like a way for people to have a better experience out there and achieve things that they might not have been able to do. We hire the smartest people we can with the most amount of hunting experience. We want really bright people that are extraordinarily passionate hunters. And from there, say we just set them free.